What if that tingling in your feet, that strange pins and needles feeling you get, isn't just a random annoyance? What if it's a message, a distress signal from a part of your body that's slowly being cut off from headquarters? I'll never forget a patient of Dr. Hinohara's he once told me about. A retired carpenter in his 70s. A man who spent his life on his feet, building homes. He said the scariest part wasn't pain, it was silence. It was the day he looked down and realized he couldn't fully feel the floor beneath him. He didn't lose his legs in an accident on a construction site. He was slowly losing them to that creeping, silent numbness. He became afraid to walk, afraid to leave the very home he had built. That fear is real for millions. So what is our body truly trying to tell us? To help us decode these signals, we are once again with the master interpreter of the body's language, Dr. Shigeki Hinohara. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you, Ben. It is an honor. You begin with a powerful story because it touches the truth of the matter. Your body is a magnificent network of communication. Every sensation is a message. Numbness, therefore, is not just a symptom. It is a sign that the communication line between your brain and your feet is failing. The signal is becoming weak, full of static. And if we do not intervene, that line can be cut off entirely.
A failing communication line. That's a perfect and honestly a frightening way to describe it. But the good news is a line can be repaired. And that's our promise to you in this video today. We are going to give you the complete blueprint for restoring that connection. First, we are going to reveal the power supply, the two critical nutrients that your nerves are starving for, the very fuel they need to send clear signals. Then Dr. Hinohara will guide us step by step through the 6 simple repair techniques you can do at home to get that line working again, clear and strong. If you have ever felt that strange tingling, that numbness, that static on the line in your own feet or legs, please type 1 in the comments below. It helps us know we're on the right track. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss this complete recovery roadmap. Doctor, I love that analogy of the communication lines. It makes so much sense. So before the repairman starts his delicate work on the wires, the first logical step has to be turning the power on, right? What is the power supply for our nervous system?
You have asked the most important question, Ben. It is a modern mistake to ask a starving system to do hard work. We ask our bodies to heal, but we do not give them the materials for repair. Before we can ask the nerves to respond to movement, we must first give them the very nourishment they have been crying out for. We must turn on the power.
And based on decades of research, both in Japan and here in the West, that power comes from a specific combination of nutrients that are often missed. The first part of this power supply, and this is critical, is a remarkable antioxidant called alpha-lipoic acid, or ALA. Think of ALA as the shield that protects the wires. Nerves are high-energy cells, and they create a lot of metabolic exhaust, what scientists call oxidative stress. This stress is like rust, slowly corroding the delicate nerve endings. ALA is one of the few substances that is both water and fat-soluble, meaning it can get inside any nerve cell to neutralize that rust and protect it from further damage. Many clinical studies on neuropathy use daily dosages around 600 milligrams. But as always, it is essential to talk with your own doctor to see if it and what dosage is right for you.
The shield is the first step. You must protect what is there. Then you must repair the wire itself.
Exactly. And that brings us to the second part of the power supply, the B-complex vitamins, specifically B1, B6, and B12. If ALA is the shield, think of these B vitamins as the insulation that coats the wire. Every nerve in your body is wrapped in a protective layer called the myelin sheath. It's like the rubber coating on a copper wire. When this coating gets thin or damaged, the nerve signal shorts out. That's what causes those strange zings, tingles, and numbness. Vitamins B1, B6, and especially B12 are absolutely essential for maintaining a healthy myelin sheath. Taking them together in a B-complex formula is often best, as they work as a team to keep your nerve signals firing cleanly and clearly.
I had a patient, a 72-year-old woman named Margaret. She was wonderfully disciplined with the exercises I gave her, but she was frustrated. "I feel a little better," she said, "but the numbness is still there." I reviewed her diet and realized it was lacking in these key nutrients. Under her physician's guidance, she began supplementing with ALA and a B complex. 2 months later, she told me, "It's like a switch has been flipped. Now when I do the exercises, I can feel them working." She needed both, the power and the repair work.
That story is the perfect illustration of synergy. You need both. Speaking of good habits, we believe our community here is one of our greatest strengths. It's a place for positive exchange. So we'd love to know, what's one healthy habit you've stuck with that you're proud of? Let's fill the comments with some positive energy and inspire one another.
Now, with the power supply turned on, the nerves have the energy they need to begin the repair process. Our repairman can begin his work. We will start gently with the first phase. Phase 1. Waking up the signal. The goal here is to send the first signals down the line to see how it responds. The first exercise is wonderfully simple. While sitting in a chair, you perform a 4-step sequence. Lift your toes up, extend your foot forward, lower the foot, and finally, lift your heel up. Repeat this cycle slowly, with intention, about 15 times for each leg.
That movement may look simple, but scientifically it's incredibly powerful. Your calf muscles act as a second heart. Every time you contract those muscles, you squeeze the veins and push blood back up towards the heart against gravity. The movement the doctor just described is one of the most effective ways to activate that pump, driving oxygen and nutrient-rich blood to those starving nerve endings.
Precisely. After activating the pump, the second exercise is to roll a small ball under the sole of your foot. You can use a tennis ball or a dedicated massage ball. Roll it gently forward and back, side to side, and in circles. This is not about forceful massage. This is about listening. You are teaching the brain to pay attention to the foot again.
That is a fantastic exercise for restoring proprioception. That's the brain's sense of where your body parts are in space without you having to look. When numbness sets in, that connection weakens. Rolling the ball sends thousands of new sensory signals to the brain, helping to redraw the map of the foot in your mind.
Once the signal has been awakened, we move to the second, more refined phase. Phase 2, repairing the fine wires. Now, we will work on making the signal clearer and stronger. The third exercise is about toe strength, something most of us have lost. Take that same ball and try to grip it with your toes, lifting it even slightly off the ground. I had a patient, Robert, a retired librarian in his late 60s. He told me he no longer dared to climb a stepladder to get a book from the top shelf, not because he was weak, but because he felt unsteady. His feet no longer gripped the rungs. I showed him this toe gripping exercise. At first, he couldn't even move the ball, but he persisted. A month later, he said with confidence that he could feel his toes communicating with the ground again. That tiny bit of stability gave him back his freedom.
That story is wonderful. It shows just how critical these micro movements are for our overall balance.
And to make that signal even sharper, we move to the next exercise in this phase, the fifth in our sequence, the towel drag. While lying down, place a towel under your foot and use only your toes to scrunch and pull the towel towards you. Creating this bit of resistance forces the nerves to send a stronger signal. It's like having to speak a little louder in a noisy room. It helps the brain hear the signal from the foot more clearly.
And that is the essence of neuroplasticity. By repeating a clear and consistent stimulus, you are creating a new pathway, a new neural superhighway between the brain and the foot. It's truly remarkable.
We now arrive at the final phase of our repair work. We have awakened the signal and repaired the fine wires. The last step is to ensure the entire network communicates in harmony. This is the most important phase. Phase 3, syncing the whole system. Here, we teach all the parts to work together as one. The next exercise, the fourth in our sequence, is the ankle press. While seated, place that same ball between your ankles. Gently squeeze inward, feeling the muscles in your inner thighs and lower legs activate. From there, try to lift the ball just an inch or two off the ground, holding for a few seconds.
I find this one fascinating because it's a perfect example of the kinetic chain in action. That's the idea that your body isn't a collection of separate parts, but one interconnected system. Numbness in the feet can cause you to overuse muscles in one hip, leading to back pain. By activating the inner legs and core with this simple squeeze, you are teaching the body to find its center again and work symmetrically, taking the strain off of overworked areas.
Precisely. It trains balance from the inside out. Now, for our sixth and final movement. It is the most gentle and perhaps the most profound. You will lie on your back, stretch your entire body long, then simply rotate both feet outward as if pointing your toes to the opposite walls and hold for 20 seconds. Then rotate them inward and hold. This is not just a stretch, it is a signal.
A signal of what, doctor?
A signal of safety. When the body lives with fear, the fear of falling, the fear of the unknown, it stays in a constant state of tension. The muscles remain braced. Healing cannot happen in a body that is braced for impact. This gentle, supported movement tells the entire nervous system, from the toes to the spine, you are safe. You can let go. I once cared for a woman in her 80s named Eleanor, who was a dancer in her youth. She described her neuropathy not as numbness, but as a feeling of being permanently braced for a fall. This final stretch was the one that brought tears to her eyes. She said it was the first time in years she felt her body could finally exhale.
That's an incredible story. It shows that recovery is as much emotional as it is physical. So we have these 6 powerful exercises. For the person watching at home who feels inspired, but maybe a little overwhelmed, how do they put this all together?
You do not need to do it all at once. You simply need to start.
And we can make it really simple. Here's a practical routine. Just aim for 5 to 10 minutes every morning. That's it. You can set a timer, maybe 1 minute for each exercise. Move slowly, breathe, pay attention to the sensations. The goal isn't to get a workout or to push through pain. The goal is to send a clear, consistent signal to your body every single day. Remember, the core philosophy of this channel and Dr. Hinohara's wisdom. Consistency is far more powerful than intensity. A few dedicated minutes every day will create more lasting change than one heroic effort on the weekend. You are retraining your nervous system, and that requires daily conversation.
Before we finish, I wish to leave you with one final thought. Your body is always speaking to you. It begins with whispers. The tingling in your feet is a whisper. A moment of imbalance is a whisper. The brief feeling that the ground is not quite where you thought it would be, that is a whisper. For years, many of us learn to ignore these whispers. We are too busy. We think it is just old age. But a whisper that is ignored will one day become a scream. The exercises we have shared today, the nourishment we have discussed, these are not just techniques. They are ways of learning to listen again. They are a way of telling your body, I hear you, and I am here to help. That is the beginning of all true healing.
That is such a powerful reframe, Doctor. Listening to the whispers. It's not about fighting a disease. It's about answering a call from your own body. So the complete solution for numbness in feet isn't just a magic bullet. It's a two-part strategy that you can control. First, you provide the power with nutrients like ALA and B vitamins to protect the nerves. Then you do the repairs with these gentle daily movements. This is the most effective neuropathy treatment you can do at home because it helps improve circulation in legs and retrains the nervous system at the same time. And because this journey is deeply personal, our final piece of advice is our most important. This conversation is for educational purposes to empower you with knowledge. Please always speak with your personal physician or a qualified healthcare provider before beginning any new supplement regimen to ensure it is safe and appropriate for your specific health needs. If this video has given you a sense of hope and a clear path forward, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you know who might be living with this silence. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our weekly episodes on building a stronger, healthier life. And for our final thought today, after watching this, what gives you the most hope about reconnecting with your body? We would be honored to read your answer in the comments below. Thank you for your time and your trust. We'll see you in the next video.